Thank the Chairman. Mr. Gruber, you also did some work for the Congressional Budget Office, correct, the CBO?
I was on a CBO advisory council.
When did that start?
I don't exactly remember. It was probably
2007, correct?
Yeah, mid-2000s.
Yes. And how long, when did you stop working for the CBO?
I did not. I was on the advisory council until, I think, through 2008. I'm not entirely sure.
You mean 2011? Is that correct?
No, I did not go to meetings of the CBO advisory council.
Were you on the advisory council until 2011?
I honestly don't know when they took me off it, but I did not attend any meetings of that advisory council.
Were you on the CBO panel in 2010?
I did not attend any meetings of the CBO panel in 2010.
But you were part of that organization. Did you have any communications with the CBO?
Yes.
So you didn't attend any meetings, but you did have communication. How many times did you how many times since President Obama took office did you go to the White House?
I don't recall exactly.
Was it more than 20?
No, it was not.
I believe it was more than 20. How many times do you think it was? Going to the White House is a significant event. You probably remember it. So
I made a number of visits to the White House, primarily to the Executive Office building, to meet with members of President Obama's staff.
did you ever meet with the President?
I met with President Obama once during discussion.
How long was that meeting?
It was a meeting that lasted maybe an hour and a half, of which, with about 20 people, I spoke for about 5 minutes.
Was Mr. Elmendorf there?
Yes, he was.
What was your capacity in that meeting?
It was a meeting of about 6 economic experts to talk to the President and his staff about options for healthcare cost control.
Were you there as a CBO member, or were you there as an administration member?
I was there as neither. I was there as an economic expert.
Well, somebody invited you there. You weren't, somebody was paying you, correct?
No one paid me to be at that meeting. I was invited to be at that meeting by the White
We'll explore that a little bit more. Mr. Gruber, will you provide copies of all the work product you provided to the federal government related to the Affordable Care Act, healthcare.gov, or any other healthcare reform proposals?
Once again, if that's a request of the committee, they can take that up with my counsel. I'm sure that.
No. We're asking you, not your counsel. Counsel works for you. So we're asking you, under oath, will you provide this information to this committee?
Once again, if the committee can take it up with my counsel, if it's a
No. Mr. Gruber, we're asking you, you've been paid by the American taxpayers. Will you or will you not provide that information to this committee?
Once again, the committee can take it up with my counsel.
Mr. Chairman, this is something we have got to get to the bottom of. I think members on both sides of this aisle should demand that those documents paid for by the American taxpayers be part of the public record. What are you hiding? Why won't you give those to us? Why are we not entitled to those?
I'm not an expert on the rules of what's disclosable and what's not, but my counsel is, and he'd be happy to talk to the committee about it.
Why will you not give us those documents?
I've not concluded one way or another in the document.
Who owns those documents? Who paid for them?
I'm not sure.
You don't know who paid for those documents? Were you paid by the American taxpayer?
I had a contract, a technical contract with HHS to do microsimulation modeling.
Was there any work product of that? Did you actually come up with documents, have discussions?
Yes, I had a large number of discussions.
Will you provide copies of all the work product you provided to the state governments related to the Affordable Care Act, state-based exchanges, or any other health care reform proposals?
Once again, the committee can take that up with my counsel.
Will you provide copies of your communication, including emails, memorandum, presentations, or any other discussions or conversations you had with federal or state officials or employees related to the Affordable Care Act, exchanges, or other health care reform proposals?
Once again, the committee can take that up with
I need a yes or no. I'm not interested in talking to your counsel. I'm interested in talking to you right now, under oath, having been paid by the American taxpayers. Will you or will you not provide that information?
You can take that up with my counsel.
Why do you believe you're entitled to not give it to us?
I don't know the rules of how you produce documents, things like that. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just an.
Do you have documents?
Do I own documents?
Do you have documents?
Yeah, I have documents.
And you're not willing to give them to us?
I have all sorts of documents. I have a piece of paper in front of me. I don't understand.
Documents that relate to the questions that I just asked you, Mr. Gruber.
I have.
Do you not understand the question?
I perform grant work for the federal government. There was a work product from that work. I do not understand the rules under which that work product is supposed to be provided or not, because I'm not a lawyer, and you can take that up with my counsel.
This is terribly frustrating, Mr. Chairman. We will, I hope, get some cooperation on both sides of the aisle to pursue this. Yield back.
I thank the gentleman, and Mr. Gruber, it does appear that you have progressed in your ability to be political. You answer questions better than any politician sitting at this dais today. And it's frustrating, and I would contend that your attorney is not giving you adequate representation at this time. This committee has the right to have the information that has been requested. And you have progressed from not talking simply off the cuff and making stupid statements to now being entirely political, to the point that you're hindering us in carrying out our responsibility. I now recognize the gentleman from...
Mr. Chairman, I would ask the chairman if this committee should consider a subpoena to compel the witness to provide this kind of information if he's not going to do it on a voluntary basis.
Well, I would recommend the gentleman take that up with the committee chair, whose portrait hangs behind us. I certainly would concur with you, but I'm not going to step in the place of the full committee chair at this point. I thank the gentleman.